Hi, I'm Francis Hellier, and welcome to my podcast, Metaverse. Dedicated to the emerging world of the metaverse, this podcast aims to demystify and unpack the possibilities of the digital future just dawning over the horizon. In each episode, I talk to leaders in this growing space who are forging this new reality, from innovators in AR and VR to futurists in crypto and space travel and forecasters in business and tech. Together we'll ask the question, what's next? Today I'm joined by Thomas Winsor, founder and creative director of The Round, the world's first platform for live entertainment in augmented reality. The Round app facilitates premium live and holographic performances, allowing artists, creatives, and performers to virtually enter locations worldwide for a shared and intimate experience with their audiences. In 2021, The Round worked with EE to host the first real-time augmented reality music performance, where singer and songwriter Liam Payne virtually performed as an opener to the 2020 EE British Film Academy Awards ceremony. As former creators and theatre producers, Thomas Winsor and co-founder Pick Brignall wanted to explore how technology could help keep the entertainment industry alive. Within 3 years of virtual and augmented reality research and development work, they were able to find an exciting and innovative way to harness the power of live performance and offer a unique experience to entertainment-deprived audiences. Thomas, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, and thank you for the great intro.
No worries at all. So tell me what first piqued your interest in AR and the metaverse?
Well, AR started in about 2016, actually, 2016/17, via virtual reality. So as you said, I was working in the theatre industry predominantly at that time. And I was doing some work actually with Rain Dance Film School in the UK, and VR kept getting mentioned. And I think what excited me most about it was its newness, its novel application. It's the fact that there was uncharted territory, and you know, it's been 4 or 5 years now, and that hasn't changed. And I think particularly as the metaverse kind of unfolds and the Web3 technology really starts to become more widespread and mainstream, that newness and that uncharted territory is still with us, which is very exciting. But really, in regards to why I'm so excited about augmented reality particularly is the reach that augmented reality allows for, particularly mobile AR. You know, you can now reach billions of people with holograms, with avatars, with sci-fi, quite frankly. And we're at that point where that's possible. So that's incredibly exciting. And I think the metaverse, and particularly the open metaverse more generally, I think is just a complete shift in how we engage with the internet more generally. And it's incredibly exciting to be a part of that.
So what inspired your transition from live entertainment into the metaverse?
Well, the inspiration came from the desire to allow people to have access to live entertainment. You know, accessibility is everything to us. We really see the metaverse and augmented reality as giving people from every corner of the world the ability to watch the best live shows, you know, to get as if they were on Broadway or as if they were in the West End, when it's just not possible for people. So I think that really, that transition, that accessibility was a massively important part of it. But then augmented reality specifically is a really effective way of transposing live entertainment into the digital space, because it allows for that 3D realization and that 3D representation in a way that 2D video just doesn't allow for.
Now, can you talk us through the impact that the coronavirus pandemic had on the business itself? Do you think that the lack of live performances has supported the success of the Round so far?
Absolutely. The coronavirus personally allowed us to rethink a lot of the work we had been doing beforehand. And as you said, we were working in the AR and VR industry for about 3 years prior to the coronavirus. But what it really, there's two things that I think it really allowed for. The realization of the value of live entertainment came to the fore with the coronavirus, when people were starved of the ability to engage with live shows, festivals, theatre, comedy, dance, whatever it might be, street theatre even, you know, stopped. That, I think, really brought to the forefront something that a lot of people had forgotten: how important live entertainment is in your day-to-day lives, how it touches every one of us regularly. So I think that really was brought to the forefront, and people were looking for ways to engage with that. And you could see that across Zoom. You had people doing shows on Zoom straight away. That was immediately one of the main ways people decided to use Zoom. Well, meetings, family pub quizzes, and live entertainment. Wasn't that what everyone was getting invited to from Zoom straight away before even anyone knew what they were doing? And I think that's really, really telling how much people just missed liveness. But then the other big part of the pandemic, and a lot of people have found this within the AR and VR space, and I think it's what's given rise to the metaverse and the mainstream changing of the metaverse, is the change in human behavior. People became so much more willing to engage with a wide range of digital platforms during the pandemic, and that has fundamentally shifted the way that people think about engagement with digital storytelling quite across the board.
Now, can audiences get the same experience from virtual performances compared to live performances? And if you believe that they can, how can they?
I believe they can get the essence of the same experience. You can deliver certain elements that are fundamentally the same. Now, a big part of that is the shared experience between users. When you're at a real world live event, the event is made up of the artist, but also the people in the audience, the people who are around you. That is fundamental to what it is to be in part of a live event. But the great thing now with metaverse and with augmented reality is multiplayer, and the building on the multiplayer game environment. And in those multiplayer game environments, you can create presence of other people who are sharing that experience. And what's amazing now is those people don't just have to be in the same building with you. You can share a live piece of content with a friend wherever they are in the world. So, I'm in Australia, my fiance's family are all in Australia. We would, in the future, and what we're building, be able to go to a concert with her family, who we hadn't seen for 2 years before we came to here. And we'd not only just be talking on Zoom, we'd actually be able to go and watch a show and look to the left and the right and see an avatar of her brother stood around the same experience. And that is amazing. And I think that's as near as you can get to that shared experience of a live event. And I think also what's particularly exciting about Web3 technology, when you kind of place that on with the metaverse as well, the means of interaction within Web3 really start to replicate real world live events in a way that current online platforms just are incapable of doing because of so much limitations with kind of the Web2 kind of infrastructure. So I think as we see Web3 and multiplayer improve and the infrastructure get better and better and better, there will be indistinguishable live events and digital live events, because the core technology building them both is getting so powerful. Now, I will never, ever try to claim that going to a concert in the metaverse will be the same as going to Glastonbury. Like, it's just not the same. It's a different experience. It's a different event, but it can still have that same essence. As I said,
less mud for sure.
100%.
Now the live entertainment industry is back on track, thank goodness. How do you think this will affect virtual entertainment?
I think that there's twofolds. I think virtual entertainment will have a positive impact on live entertainment in the real world. Like, you've seen that with a lot of platforms over the last 5 to 10 years, like NT Live and the kind of the growth of filming live theatre. There was initially a worry that this would reduce footfall to the theatres themselves. Completely turned out the exact opposite was true. The more NT Live was done, the more theatre was filmed and broadcast to cinemas, the bigger the footfall in the theatre itself. And I think we'll see exactly the same thing with the metaverse and with the kind of these kind of digital platforms as they explode and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think there's only going to be a positive, because the evidence suggests that that's actually what happens. I think real world live events coming back, again, is going to be a positive, because we know, having spoken to, some of the, the big theatre companies in the UK and around the world, their ability to engage with the digital work they need the live theatre and the live entertainment to be happening to have the room to engage with digital. You know, that's their bread and butter, and that's what their entire company is built around. Some of these big companies. So once that work starts getting placed more regularly, getting in front of audiences, their bandwidth, for want of a better word, to engage with digital will start to increase more and more and more. So I think this is going to be a great relationship between the two as we grow.
I think it's also important for younger audiences, isn't it, to engage with them through Roblox or whatever they're currently playing with at the moment. So I think those kind of things are important as well. Let's just track back a bit. What do you say to people who say that the metaverse, as we sort of conceive of it, was basically a construct of, you know, the inability to go and see live entertainment, and that people will tend to lose interest as we are able to go back to live performance?
I think I think if you look at the evidence from history, that simply won't happen. I think, you know, people have tried to make these kind of arguments from the live entertainment industry about TV, about radio, about books, even about the printing press. People used to talk about this hundreds of years ago, back in the times of Shakespeare, as you had like the mass market rollout of the printing press. What impact would this have on the theatre? People have made these arguments again and again and again. When any new piece of technology has come out, it's not new, and it won't change with the metaverse. Like, people want to go to live entertainment. It's a core part of what it makes us human, is to engage with a story with other people in your community. It's just a fundamental, like, and it's been going on for thousands of years. It's some of the most kind of ancient examples of civilization are around live storytelling and live concerts and live music and people coming together. It's how we understood the world for many years, how we passed on knowledge. So it's not going anywhere, the live entertainment industry. And I think the impact you have, and the way, how much the metaverse has cut through, particularly with young people, like you said, like particularly with the impact it's had on young people, and that they're really seeing its value, and they're also their own identity within it, I think means that they're going to have a really symbiotic relationship. I think as it grows, they're going to benefit one another. And as I said, a strong live entertainment industry will benefit a digital live entertainment industry. And the other thing, to be completely single track minded, the live entertainment industry is seeing the amount of revenue they can generate online. And if they can generate more revenue with their IP and with the shows they're making, it's not going anywhere. So yeah, I think that they're gonna, there's going to be a very fruitful relationship between the two in the next 10
It's also about reaching new audiences, isn't it? And audience perhaps that maybe can't afford necessarily to go and see some of these big concerts and theatrical productions. So I think that, and the ability as well to broadcast in many places at once, I think that's a very exciting opportunity of the metaverse as well.
It absolutely is. And yeah, as you're saying, like that ability to reach people who couldn't get to the venues, but also, going to the live entertainment, live theatre is expensive. Going to watch a show in the West End, or particularly in Broadway, is out of reach of a lot of people, but particularly out of reach of a lot of young people who really enjoy going to live entertainment. And I think the metaverse is a really good entry to live entertainment for people who maybe thought of it as exclusive, out of touch, out of reach. It's a way for them to get involved and get engaged with live entertainment, and particularly live theatre, which I think is really exciting.
And it'd be really interesting to see how some of these creatives do manage to merge the digital with the live performance as well. I think that's really, really exciting. Now let's talk about The Round. The Round worked with EE and Liam Payne for his performance of Midnight at the BAFTAs, which was fantastic. It's a huge project. Tell us what that was like.
It was amazing. It came early. I wouldn't want to lie to anybody, which was a good example of getting my startup founder hat on. It was a good example of product market fit. They came to us and said, "Hey, we're wanting to broadcast Liam Payne live in augmented reality. We've heard you're already doing this," and we're like, "Let's go." You did. I thought you were going to turn them down when they offered you that. Yeah, we were like, "Yeah, we can do that already. Let's go. Let's do this." So it was great to have them approach us and say, look, this is what we already are wanting to do, and you're already building the platform that allows this to be done, which was really great for us. Now, yeah, we worked with EE, and there was a lot about to do with their 5G network, because a real-time augmented mobile AR entertainment platform is the killer use case for 5G. Really, these big telcos like EE, O2, who we've also been working with, they are looking for the use cases that make 5G normalized and get rid of all the negative press stories, and also make the investment in it seem worthwhile, because there's been a lot of money invested in 5G and a lot of press around it. So a platform like ours is just the perfect use case to say it's genuinely 5G will make a huge difference for what we can deliver to mobile phones. The process was great. We were already building the platform with funding from Innovate UK, and we had received that in October of 2020. And then the BAFTA project was in April of 2021. So we were already building the platform. Basically, EE and Liam's team and BAFTA kind of slotted into the development work we were already doing. We brought a few features further forward. We got on with our testing a bit more quickly than we maybe would have done, but we had some more resources to be able to move a bit more.
Lots of sleepless nights on that.
Oh, wasn't there just? It was the hardest. The last couple of weeks in the run into the actual event were two of the hardest weeks work of my life. Like, it was outrageous how hard everyone put together, but we had a great team across the board. The team we were working with really did an amazing job, but also the team at EE were fantastic. Liam's team particularly are a brilliant group of people to work with. And we had a lot of fun and we got it done. And Liam Payne himself is a good sport. There was a lot of standing around waiting for the hardware, waiting for the tech to work while we were getting it in place that he completely understood. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, and it went out live, successful, and a genuine world first. I know a lot of people say world first this, world first that, but
well, many congratulations. It was a fantastic achievement, and something that you did at the very beginnings of the round, which is amazing. And just for our listeners to understand, I mean, I've seen this performance. I've used the app. It's really cool. Liam Payne can sit on my kitchen table and sing to me. It's a fantastic idea, and I think that there's so many use cases for it going forward. So really, congratulations on all you've achieved on that. Let's move on to virtual venues. How do they work to transform people's surroundings, and if they're going to be at home or on the go, and do you think that'll benefit the metaverse?
Virtual venues, I think, yes, they will massively benefit the metaverse, because, well, a venue can be a whole range of things. It doesn't have to just be a performance venue for a piece of theatre, for a concert, for whatever it might be. It's a destination that you go to engage with and receive a certain piece of content or whatever it might be. And with the 3D web, which is what we're kind of moving towards in terms of the Web 3, I think these kind of venue idea will become much more widespread. These destinations you go to within the metaverse to receive a certain service. HSBC have just bought digital land. There's a digital venue in the metaverse for going to engage with your bank now, where there's events on there, and they're doing a whole set of work. And I presume you'll be able to. You'll
still be waiting on hold for about an hour, I'm sure. even in the metaverse, some things don't change.
Absolutely, yeah. Probably still get a lot of bots, just kind of like yeah. But yeah, these venues, I think venues are going to become increasingly central to what the metaverse is and how we use it. And I think that's what you've seen with the rollout and the kind of the explosion of digital land, people staking their claim to a space that people come to do this thing. That's going to become much more widespread. And then people in time will start to establish their own venues, their own spaces, their own 3D social platforms. And that's what I think augmented reality is particularly exciting. What I'm particularly excited about with augmented reality, in that anyone in the future will be able to establish a 3D presence in the metaverse that other people can then visit, and they can monetize, they can generate revenue on. The virtual venue space is very exciting.
What do you say to people who say that the metaverse, the problem with the metaverse is people believe that you have to have like an Oculus Rift and you have to have these big goggles on to experience it? We know that's different, of course, but what would you say in response to that?
I would say, please download the Round app on your mobile phone.
That was a nice, that was a good plug. That was a good plug there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
No, but
I do encourage everyone to do exactly as Tom's just suggested, because it is really cool.
But no, in all seriousness, I would say a bit of research and just the realization that you have a computer in your pocket that is more powerful than the computers that sent man to the moon in the 60s. Like the amount
I think in fairness, my ZX81 was more powerful than the computers that sent man to the moon. So
but the mobile phones we have in our pockets, that's all the hardware you need to access the metaverse. You can use augmented reality. You can use platforms like Roblox on your mobile. Fortnite is available on your mobile. These digital gaming platforms don't require PlayStation 5s. They don't require the highest end Xbox. They don't require Oculus Quests or whatever it might be. A mobile phone is enough. And the content that is being delivered to mobile AR right now is incredible. But then there's also web platforms, Decentraland, Sandbox. They are able to be run on even the most, average laptop can run those platforms really effectively, and you're in the metaverse. I think it is a shame, actually. Facebook's Meta announcement, while great for the wider industries in terms of people, the shift it made, which was an incredible shift. It's the sad thing is it's made a lot of people think that the metaverse is VR, which it's not. The virtual reality is a medium it's one of many mediums that the metaverse can be presented through. It is not the only way you can enter the metaverse. And I think that is that's going to take a while to make people realize. But yeah, I think get your mobile phone out and start downloading some AR apps.
Now, what are your predictions for augmented reality and the metaverse in the next 15 years?
In the next 15 years? Well, I truly believe holographic entertainment, holographic performances is going to be normalized in 5 to 10 years. The technology is there. And, augmented reality, we call it augmented reality. I actually think it's holograms. It's the nearest we can get to a hologram right now, but just the portal for viewing it is your mobile phone, because you're putting a digital object in your space that you can walk around. There's AR headsets going to be coming out, and then there's even standalone displays for holograms as well, which is where we're going. You look at the sci-fi, civilization follows our sci-fis, and all the cool sci-fis of the future have holograms walking around. So I think widespread use of holograms in entertainment, in everything we do at a very high quality level within the next 10 years. And then beyond that, I think the metaverse just fundamentally shifts the way we engage as individuals with the web, with Web3, as we shift from Web2 to Web3 and the open metaverse. There's a fundamental shift in the way that we have control over our own identity, have we control over our own data, the way we generate income and revenue as an individual through our engagement with digital platforms. Far more level playing field between user and platform will happen, because you're seeing that already happening at the moment with the Web3 technologies and some incredible platforms. The second you start to reward people for engagements you want within your platform, if you can really nail that, it's impossible to defeat. It's impossible for that not to become widespread, because I want to engage and use this platform, and then I'm generating your value as a company. If you feed that value back to me and I continue to generate and continue to engage with this platform, that's just a self-perpetuating cycle that knows no bounds. So I think that's really where we'll start to see things shift. And what is it? Over 50% of Gen Z's own cryptocurrency. that's gonna be huge in the next 10 to 15 years as well.
Now, you've been accelerated recently with Jamie Burke and the team at Outlier Ventures, where you've been obviously alongside some really exciting other startups, businesses. So could you tell us a little bit about that process and what you've learned from the experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been an incredible process. We started the beginning of January, and we've literally just finished. We did the diffusion event, but they're very engaged with us now as a company, and we're working with them for the next years, hopefully, as we move forward. Wow, how to break down the process? It has been, well, a little bit more about us before we start. So, we were very Web 2 native, Pip and I, when we started. We went into it very openly with them, saying we need to learn. We are rethinking our entire business model to sit with the Web 3 technologies. And they were very happy with that. But it was more about the ideology and the philosophy about why we wanted to make that shift rather than the decisions we'd already made. So during that process, overload of information for the first month to 2 months. And then basically we've worked with some of the smartest people in the industry and most knowledgeable people in the industry to finesse what were very big ideas into very tangible goals and objectives, in the same way you would do with any other, in any other accelerator. It's just that the focus was on Web3 and the open metaverse. It's been eye-opening, really eye-opening, the possibility and the potential of this technology. And it's also been eye-opening just how many great companies are already in the space. You as an outsider, you think, oh, it's so new, it's this, yeah, and so you suddenly realize, wow, there are some people making some really exciting moves already and have been doing so for a while. They're just yet to really break through the popular culture, but when they do, wow, it's going to be a seismic shift in the way that business is done online.
Amazing stuff. It's so exciting. What's next for the round, Thomas?
Well, next we're doing our Genesis NFT drop. So in about 2 to 3 months' time, we're releasing a whole range of access NFTs for the round to build our community. And then we're growing our team, which is actually growing really rapidly at the moment. We've just brought on 3 new team members, which is incredible. We're probably going to double our team size in the next 3 to 6 months, which is going to be a big part of my job in the next few months. Genesis NFT drop, then starting to deliver a series of experiences on the round from about September, October until summer of next year. Every few months, a new piece of content will hopefully be dropping. We're having some really great conversations with that. Fingers crossed, culminating in a large-scale activation with, I'll say, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Something, yeah, that's what we're trying to build up towards. Not this summer, the year after. That's kind of
amazing. That's fantastic stuff. Well, listen, Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. I wish you all the success with the round. I think it's such an exciting project, and I'm sure you're going to go on to do extraordinarily well with it. So best of luck.
Thank you, Francis.
Pleasure. You've been listening to Metaverse with me, Francis Hellier. Thank you to my guest, Thomas Winsor, for a great conversation. Tweet us at MetaversePod with any suggestions or feedback. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please do share a link on social media. You can sign up to receive an email when a new episode drops at our website, metaverse.fm.